hit the ground starting. I say welcome once again. We are waiting for other people to come on board, but we'll start now. Thank you very much, for being on time. Thank you very much for being on time. What we're going to share today is a continuation of what we started about visioning. Don't forget, we started about visioning maybe 3 weeks ago, right? And we looked at what visioning is. We also examined issues of goal setting. And today we'll be looking at planning. This is important. Don't forget, I said my frame of reference, permit me, will be from my own known frame of reference. I'm also a reverend gentleman, so sometimes I will use reference to the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, but take it as just a book of wisdom, a book given with eternal, blessings of wisdom that can help you with every sphere of life. Okay, and so we're looking at planning, from a perspective, that is unique to me. Okay, and I believe that it will be a blessing to you. Okay, so we're looking at planning. So I will examine planning, even from the Holy Scriptures, from the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. Let me read what it says here. Verse 2 in particular, it says, then the Lord replied. This is God himself telling you what to do. Okay, if you want to have success in the year, it says, write down the revelation or the vision and make it plain on tables, so that he that readeth may run with it. Okay, it says the vision is for an appointed time. It shall speak at the end, and it shall not prove false. It shall not lie. So, writing is it's an act or a special kind of discipline given to those who are not just pedestrian, people who want to make it in life and want to be exceptional. Okay, people who want to adhere to the divine mystery, for unlocking even the blessings that the year holds. Writing is critical. So, the first thing we read from that scripture says to make concrete your vision. Visions are fuzzy. Visions exist in the mind as pictures, as images, but they, not until they are made concrete, they cannot be brought to life. One of the acts even by which you can bring visions into concrete terms, okay, is through goal setting. Don't forget, and you paint your goal by penning it down. I said you must put pen to paper. It is very important. And likewise, beyond this, you must tabulate. You must write it down. Put time into it. You will see. I will guide you with a particular format I can use for tabulation later on. Don't forget that in every project management discipline, there are three essentials: the essential of time, the quantity you want to achieve, and the quality at which you want to achieve this quantity. I said time, the quantity you desire to achieve, and the quality at which you want to achieve the quantity in time. So this is, the critical, project management essential that you must take into consideration when you want to concretize your visions and your goals. Please, if you want to learn more about goals and visions, kindly subscribe to my channel, on the YouTube. Just type in my full name, Olakomi Amondundu. You will see my channel. Videos on visioning, video on goal setting. It's a bit different from what you've heard before concerning goal setting and all that. I differentiate goal setting from target setting there. Please, so as to have a good flow of thought, please make a reference there. Subscribe to my channel also, and also click the notification button on that channel so you can at any time, also be able to also receive fresh episodes of you can receive fresh episodes of all that we have in store for you. So I'm saying that once you enter into the boat of being a planner, okay, it's a unique experience which is not left to pedestrian people who just mouth things without doing. Okay, their problem is that they won't be able to execute without even keeping to this discipline of project management, which is that you must tabulate clearly, with time. with regards to the quantity you want to achieve and at what quality. Okay, these are critical. So don't forget, from that book of Habakkuk 2 verse 1 and 2, it makes it very clear. Even this is God, even Almighty, telling you, okay, this is the secret to bringing your plan to fruition this year. This year you want your plan not to be just a dream, okay, residing only in your imagination. You want to bring it from imagination right to life. You must concretize it by putting pen to paper. You can use mind maps. Okay, those who know how to use mind maps. Okay, you can draw that mind map. You can use mood boards or vision boards. Okay, use collage of different images that represents even what has been impressed upon your mind as your vision and goal. And paste it there and look at it every morning. Okay, let it sink into your subconscious and your spirit man. These are part of the things you do when you put pen to paper. Okay, make it visible. Don't forget, faith is a substance of things you're hoping for. So you must have a substance of things you are expecting to come to pass. That's what ignites faith inside of you. Okay, is an evidence of things. You must have an evidence. Okay, that pen to paper brings about the evidence you are desiring to bring about your plan. So you want to achieve your plans this year, please don't forget, this is critical. Put pen to paper and tabulate. Put pen to paper and tabulate. And the next thing I want you to note here, there are some words of mammals that I want to share with you. Larry Winget said, nobody ever wrote down a plan to be broke, a plan to be fat, a plan to be lazy or to be stupid. Those things are what happen when you don't plan. Winget, Larry said, the mind of a man is like a farm where weeds grow naturally without being cultivated. Okay, the things that you really desire as fruits in your life, you need to be conscious and deliberate about cultivating them. And that is why you must put pen to paper, you must use mood maps, you must use vision boards, you must use, tabulation, okay, working by those 3 project management principles of putting time to them, likewise, okay, tying them up with the quantity you are expecting and the quality at which you are expecting this quality. This is very important. Okay, Jim Rohn, one of my great mentors, said this. He said, vacation or life, which is most important? But he said, I find it fascinating that most people plan their vacations with better care than they plan their lives. Because, perhaps this is because escape is easier than change. Again, he says, I find it fascinating that most people plan their vacations with better care than they plan their lives. Perhaps this is because escape is easier than change. What we are saying here is that planning, visioning, goal setting, okay, is about transformation and change, and it's not easy. You must be deliberate and intentional, and you must be consistent and persistent to see that your goal is achieved. But your goal will not be achieved when you are not painstaking to put pen to paper. Particularly in the Western world, people plan their vacation a year ahead. They look at the best time to buy the tickets when the ticket is at the lowest price, and they buy it well ahead. They book the resort where they want to stay well ahead. They begin to save well ahead. And so if you can plan just one time, and don't forget, vacation resides in that module we call the recreational aspect of your life. If you can plan the recreational aspect of life, that tiny aspect so well, why can't you plan your entire 9 facets of life? I will look at those 9 facets as I go on. So I'm saying, why plan your vacations but leave your life to free willing? Don't leave your life to free willing. Plan your vacation. So planning is critical. You want to make it, you want to succeed, you want to be exceptional in 2021 and going forward, you want to plan for the decade. That's what I exhort you to do. Plan for the decade, be exceptional. Let's look at the next thing. Why plan? Why should you plan at all? Why? Okay, the first thing I said is, you must plan because it's God's example. God laid this down while he was creating the world. Okay, for you, and if you are made in his very image and very likeness, he expects you to follow his example. This is how you are wired to naturally function, even and to produce the most impact. If you are made in the image of God and God is a great planner, that means you are wired just like him to be a great planner. If you must also be as creative, innovative, and as impactful as he destined you to be. Okay, and you will see this in Genesis 1 1 to 3, the Bible says in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. And earth was without form and void, verse 2. So in verse 1 says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Where? He had created everything in his mind. Creation exists twice before you see it manifest. The first place where creation exists is in the mind, is in the imagination. So and that is where you start the planning. The planning must be clear before you begin to execute and implement. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, said and God created. He created. Okay, the heavens and the earth. Okay, then verse 2 says, and the earth was without form and void. If he has created, so he has finished everything in verse 1. He has finished on paper. He has finished the plan. He has finished in the mind. It is done. So he was not putting flesh, bone, structure to it in verse 2 downward. And this is exactly how I go about planning. This is God's example. This is exactly God's example. The second reason why you should plan and why you must plan is because it is a fundamental principle that must precede action. Luke chapter 14, verse 28 to 32, Jesus Christ was saying an example of a person. He says, who among you wants to be a tar? Will not first of all sit down, count the cost, or who wants to go to warfare? Okay, and will not first of all, judge himself whether the army is going with, the armament is going with, can easily override the enemies. If he sees that going by physical warfare will not win because I have less armament and less man count. He says you can use another strategy therefore because you have weighed and you have examined your resources. Another strategy will be let us go via diplomatic relationship and seek peace even without going to warfare. So that eventually you still win it. Okay, so just like studies fundamental principle that before you go into action, planning is critical. This is the second reason. The third reason is that Jesus Christ taught and the scriptures commanded and commended planning. You see in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 and 2, where we read, and even that Luke chapter 14, verse 28. I said, no man who wants to build a tower does not first sit down to count the cost, to put pen to paper, to do the inventory of what is needed, to have a clear picture of what he wants to build, and see the structure. Finish the creation first in the mind before even you go out to execute. Finish the creation first in your mind before you go out to execute. Finish the creation first in your mind before you go out to execute. The fourth reason why planning is critical, to you and for success is that good preparation decreases the risk of things going wrong with you on your journey. When you have planned, it helps you. It's not that that certain things may not still go wrong, but it minimizes the risk of things going wrong with you on the journey of implementation. Okay. The next thing is that the personal development plan, which I call the PDP, template, structures your thinking and increases the possibility that your life will go in the right direction. Okay, it structures your thinking. It makes you to have an holistic view of what exactly you want to execute, you want to implement. Okay, and I will share with you, a template of my own personal development, plan, this evening, so you can have it. But those of you also who want it personally, please, you can just WhatsApp me. You can also put on the chat if you want this template. If you don't know it before, I can share with you. Okay, and later also, I will share my phone number on the chat so you can WhatsApp me and get in touch with me for those who don't have my WhatsApp number. The sixth reason why you must plan is this: there is a time for everything. You don't just go into harvest. You don't just go into cultivation. Okay, there is something that precedes cultivation, and it's planning. Okay, so there's a time for planning. There's a time for execution. There's a time for review, and it's a concentric cycle. After you reviewed, you've seen where you can do it better. You plan for that again. Then you assess your resources and you plow into execution again, and then you review. So it's a concentric cycle. Okay, until you achieve your goal and until you achieve excellence. Okay, and the seventh reason why you should plan is that planning helps you to prepare for and to maximally leverage opportunities. Once you've planned, opportunities, it's almost as if it magnetizes opportunities. And so it helps you to maximize and leverage on those opportunities even very well. That's what planning does. Okay, now that's why Hebrews chapter 2 verse 3 says, and so that they that read may run with it. You will find that planning helps aggregate and attract vision enablers to you. Okay, it looks as if before you have planned, it looks as if those vision enablers are not existing before. But once you plan, you will be able to know how to maximally use the vision enablers as they show up. But if you don't plan, you don't even know what reason why God has sent them along your path. That's the important thing, because the Creator has a way of sending vision enablers along the path of every human being, because He wants the world to be a better place. Okay, and that's why He has given you that vision in the first instance. Don't waste that vision. This year is waiting for you to utilize that vision to change the world and to be a better place. This is very, very important. Okay. Likewise, the eighth reason why you should plan is that planning and pursuits are proof of faith. People who say they have faith but are not putting pen to paper, putting structure to what they have as faith, they are really, really, maybe pretenders. They are really fakes, not faith. Look at the example of Noah. God told him in specific terms to the last detail. They plan the dimension, the quality, the amount of the type of material to use to build the ark. Also, the amount of things that the ark can contain. He planned it and built it in based on Bible time for about 120 years. Okay, he was meticulous at building it, not until he finished it with God's eternal plan. To revamp the world. During his time, came to pass. So this is very important. Okay, and I think Miles Morrow, my mentor said this process, the proof of pursuit pursuit is the real proof that you believe. Okay, that you believe something will come to pass is seen by whether you are giving it your passion to pursue it. This is very, very important. So planning and pursuits are proof of faith. And that's why it was said when the angel came to Mary to announce to her that she would be the mother of our Lord, and the Holy Ghost will cause her to be impregnated miraculously without a man meeting her. Bible says Mary kept this in her heart. She was brooding upon it. She was laser focused on this, which was the vision God has put inside of her. I want to believe that one of the reasons why that conception happened was this laser focus. So laser focus of acting on the faith, on the word, is what bats execution. This is very important. Okay, the ninth reason why you should have a plan is that the extent of your belief is revealed by the extent of your plan. That's the truth. The extent of your plan is what God pours His blessing upon. God does not bless is zero. I say again, the extent of your belief is revealed by the extent of your plan. Again, I say it again. The extent of your belief is revealed by the extent of your plan. This is very important. The extent of your belief is revealed by the extent of your plan. So if you plan small, you have shown yourself to be a small believer in the capacity of the Almighty to bring to bear what He has shown you or He's saying to you this year. Okay, this year He will turn for you based on your belief and based on the plans you have for it. God does not bless zero, and God has never blessed zero. There is always something that God blesses. He asks you at all times, what is in your hands? What do you have? That's what God blesses. If He promises to bless you 1,000,000 times and you have zero in your hand, 1,000,000 times is zero, is also zero. Zero zeroizes everything. But if you have just one tiny thing you are doing and you have put it as a plan and you put your act and focus to, and you're persistent and consistent on it, okay, and you're executing, God now sees that you have a proof of faith and He blesses it. The extent of your plan is what God pours His blessings upon. Don't forget even that story of the widow of Zarephath, even with the prophet Elijah. In 2 Kings chapter 4, okay, verse 3, it was said that it was a time of famine. Every environmental condition proved that even economic hardship was the order of the day. But there was a vision that this man of God, this prophet, sold to this lady. A vision that was totally contrary to what was dictated by the environment. He said, even God wants to bless you. God wants to expand you. If only you will do something. Okay, forget what other thing you may have read about that story, but focus on this thing. The prophet said she should, the widow should gather vessels, not small, and that the little jar of oil she has remaining in her house, that she should pour in that jar of oil. Okay, even though the jar of oil cannot fill beyond one bottle, one jar before, but it says, believe in the little you have, God will bless you. Begin to pour it in all the empty containers you brought. And as she began, grace came upon the jar of oil, and she was pouring, and she filled all the vessels. And the prophet says, bring another vessel. And the woman says, that was all we went to borrow. There is no other vessel. And the Bible says, and the oil, the miracle of the oil stayed. That is, the abundance stopped at where our level of plan, level of faith reaches. I'm saying the level of your faith is shown by the level of your plan. If you have a plan that is so comfortable and convenient for you to execute, it shows that your faith is so little. So little. Have a plan this year so humongous that if not for God, it cannot come to pass. That is the proof of faith. You shoot at it. It costs you nothing. Okay? Shoot up your excitement when it comes to your vision and mood board this year. Set your plans. Don't forget, for those who were with me, when we started this first series about 3 weeks ago, and I started on visioning and goal setting, I made us understand that goal setting, basically, from my perspective, is different from target setting. Okay, target setting is the eventual thing you want to achieve on the external. Goal setting is what happens on your inside, is a building of capacity, is a building of capacity on your inside, your mindset, transformation on the inside that gives you capacity to be able to achieve the external target that you want to achieve. So, and please go and watch that video, on goal setting. That is the second session of this edition, on my YouTube channel. You will find it very, very helpful. Okay, the 10th reason why you must plan. Planning, like budget, imposes discipline and builds character. Again, planning is like budgeting. It imposes discipline and builds character. Don't forget, why I couldn't make mention of goal setting is that planning is linked to it, because as you go plan, that plan helps to build a structure, your internal thinking process, and builds discipline. What I mean here by character is it builds discipline into you. It builds adherence and focus into you. Okay, so that even when things go wrong, you can be driven back into line. Let's look at what Thomas Edison, who invented the incandescent bulb. Okay, this is what he said. Okay, he says, just because something doesn't do what you plan it to do, doesn't mean it is useless. Just because something does not do what you plan it to do, does not mean that thing is useless. Our greatest weakness is in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. It was said that this man, in his experiment of giving us today the incandescent bulb, the light bulb in your home and all that, he was the one that after that vision and that idea, okay, he developed it, okay, and it failed. Some people say 999 times, okay, and it was just the last one, okay, that he tried, okay, that gave us incandescent bulb. So he said he did not fail 999 times. He had only learned how not to do it 999 times. So he had a positive mindset. You must have a positive mindset. So planning helps you to discipline yourself, even as you focus with a positive mindset toward your goal. It is important. And I said, number 11, planning brings you back on track when you feel lost, when you feel frustrated, when you feel dissatisfied with life. It helps you to make better decisions for a better, brighter future. That's what planning does. The 12th thing is planning forms the basis for a winning strategy. Okay, there is no strategy without planning. Okay, no, strategy is like a route to market. Strategy, like the game of the end point, needs you to plan even that game. It's like a chessboard. You cannot just hit the ground and play. You must look at the vagaries of arrangement of your opponent's chesses. Okay, and his moves, and the environment, and the resources on his board, the pawns, the the knight, the queen, and how they are arranged. You have to look at what remains on the board before you can play. Okay, planning is a basis for a winning strategy. Okay, it determines effective deployment of resources. It determines effective deployment of resources. In that Luke chapter 14, verse 31 to 32, that king who was going to warfare said this. He said, having evaluated his own resources even for war and evaluated against even his opponent, he saw that he was at a disadvantage. So he changed his strategy to going headlong in confronter battle. He rather chose even to go via diplomatic means of resolving the conflict and still having a win-win. Okay, so planning forms a basis of a winning strategy. It determines effective deployment of resources. If that king has still gone full hardy, okay, with the resources and the few men, okay, who will just totally be routed by the army coming, okay, he will have wasted his resources. Okay, so this is very important. So I say here, I don't know what you have noted, but let me say this, the decision and responsibility is yours. Again, towards hitting your target, towards achieving your goal for 2021 and beyond, 2022, 23, 24, 2030, setting your decade plan, the decision and responsibility is yours. Planning is all about making decisions, taking responsibility to keep those decisions. This is the stuff that destiny is made of. Destiny is not just even something that's been branded, and it is not, you can't miss it whatever you do, whether you are sleeping or you are doing nothing. No. Destiny is a conscripted word from the word destination, where you end up to. Okay, if man has no say in his destiny, okay, the scripture would not have said, I show you life and death, choose life. So destiny is based on your choice, where you fall. Even though God has an eternal plan and lofty end in his mind, but what you do will determine whether you get there, or you will maximize it, or you will only make half of it, or you make none of it. Okay, so the great destiny for this year, the prophetic utterances and all the goals you've set at January of this year, okay, they can only be achieved based on how consistent, committed, and responsible you show yourself, even in terms of decisions daily. Don't forget, days makes weeks, weeks makes months, months make a year. So what you do every day contributes to you achieving your weekly goal. What you do every week contributes to you achieving your monthly goals. And what you do every month contributes to achieving your yearly goals. And what you do every year contributes to achieving your decade goals. This is very important. Okay, so you must now have a change of mind concerning the decisions you make. And strategy is not only knowing the route to the market. Strategy is not only knowing what to do. Strategy is also knowing what not to do. Indeed, the easiest thing to start off strategy with is to identify things that are not within your own universal set of what to do. Drop them off. Friends, games, pastimes, where your resources are going. First of all, identify them. Cut them off. Cut them off. It narrows, therefore, if the area that are the possibilities that of what you should do. Okay? There are some mentors that you need now to choose. No, there are some friends you now need to choose because of where you are going. I therefore say that your vision will drive your goal setting, who you want to become. Your goal setting will drive even your target, what you want to achieve. Okay, so these three things must determine your choices on a daily basis. Where you are going must determine who you go with. Where you're going from today must determine the friends that you still retain on your boat. It's just like an organization. As in HR, we will determine that based on the strategic plan for each year, we will determine the set of resources, human resources we have, whether they are the right or the wrong. And this is what informs whether we excuse some of the sheep and we bring in others. We don't just go in recruiting without being strategic. This is very important. So you must understand that you are your own incorporated organization. In my book, titled Selling Skills, you incorporated. Okay, I made it understand that you are your own unique incorporated company. Okay, and so you must go about life as if you are an incorporated being. You must make profit with your life. How do you make profit with your life? Begin to look at things to remain and things to remove. Things to remain and things to remove. This is very important. Very important. So please, planning is critical. Let me say here, just throwing some nuggets, and I will open up the line for questions. Okay. I said here, a lot of people are poor. Indeed, it is said that about 95% of the world, okay, dwell in the poor zone. And poor is not because there's no money in their pocket. Poor is because they pass over opportunities repeatedly. No, that is the acronym for poor. POOR means passing over opportunities repeatedly because of fear, because of past experience where they have been beaten, because of what others have said, because of endless reasons. So I'm not saying that you just jump at opportunities, okay, but also don't make yourself paralyzed because of endless analysis. Okay, don't have paralysis through endless analysis. Okay, you cannot in any investment in life have 100% certainty. Okay, however, you must make wise decisions. Okay, this is where you need counselors. This is where you need others to help you. Okay, and I want to say that it is not opportunity that counts, even though I've said that poor means passing over opportunities. Okay, repeatedly. But it's not just opportunity that counts. It is what you do with the opportunities. You may have 100 opportunities and do nothing with them. I may just have one opportunity and do something with it. So I can change the own dynamics of my life just with one opportunity I have and I've taken and I've done something with. So it is not how much or how many opportunities that you have that counts. It is what you do with the few opportunities that you have. Let me also say this. Life is programmed to run in seasons. You cannot change the season, but you can plan, prepare to maximize the seasons to your advantage. Again, life is programmed to run in seasons. You can do nothing to change the seasons, but you can plan to maximize the seasons. There are some countries, okay, in the Nordic countries and also, in North America where they have just their summer season, not more than 3 or 4 months. But yet, they farm and they feed their own nation. They have learned how to maximize the few months of sunshine and rain, to feed their own nation. While there are some nations, even here in Africa, some nations in Asia, who have almost 11 months of sunshine and rainfall, and yet they cannot feed their nation. It is not the amount of opportunities you have that matters. It is what you do with the few that you have through planning. Okay, so you cannot change seasons, but you can plan well to prepare to maximize the seasons to your advantage. I therefore say here, stop waiting for the right time. Rather, make yourself right for the time through appropriate action, appropriate plans. Again, stop waiting for the right time. Rather, make yourself right for the time through appropriate action. The right time will never come unless you do something about goal setting, changing your internal dynamics in readiness to take advantage of the opportunities that you have around you. And I said, we all know about goal setting and all that, setting smart goals, specific, achievable, timely, measurable, and realistic. You all know that, okay? And so I won't dwell so much on this, because I want to quickly go on questions and answers. The next thing I want to say is that you may have had several prophetic declarations this year and all that, and yet you have been hearing it year on year, but it's not coming to pass in your life. Why? It's because you don't learn the strategy of trapping prophetic declarations. Number one, you must receive, agree, and accept the word. Okay, just like Mary did when she said, "Be it unto me according to your word." Okay, in Luke chapter 1, verse 30. Number two, beyond just receiving, agreeing, and accepting it, you must meditate, you must plan and set goals. The brooding process, okay, we had in Genesis chapter 1, and the Spirit of God was upon the waters. It was brooding, was going around. And like that's what you see, in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 there. Okay, it's all about saying you must watch. It says, I will stand upon my watch to see what he's saying. When you brood very well, what will begin to form mental pictures, images, schematas in your mind. Okay, it says, I will stand upon my watch to see what he will say. So what he's saying becomes words that you can see when you stand very well in your brooding position of planning, of goal setting, of meditating. Okay, so your quiet time is a good time even to begin to draw blueprints and to do models of what you see in the eye of your spirit and the eye of your mind. So you must be committed to this. Okay, and Joshua chapter 1 verse 8 said this way. It says, this book of the Lord shall not depart out of your mouth, you shall meditate upon it day and night to do what is written therein. Then you will have good success. So this is important. Okay, and that that word there, meditating at night, is from the Hebrew word which means mortar. It's not only brooding in it in your mind, but also speaking it out. And this is where confession comes in. Okay, so as you meditate and plan and set goals, as you receive and agree and accept the word, you must also be confessing them. This is where your affirmations, this is where your spoken words, okay, the physical actions, following also must be followed. Okay, so you must confess it, you must speak in line. Don't say things that are contrary to what you said you believe and you have set your goals for the year. Okay, then you must now begin to structure your resources in line. Structure your friends, structure your choices, the physical action to be in line. Okay, practical steps in line with what you are speaking, what you are confessing, in line with what you are seeing in the high of your mind, in line with what you have accepted concerning that vision, that thought, that powerful idea that God has given unto you in your heart. So these are the powerful things about planning. Okay, and I've said there are 9 areas, in my personal development plan book. I have the spiritual, I have the family, I have the mental, I have the physical, I have the ministry, I have the career, I have the financial, and I have the social and the recreational. Jesus Christ was said in Luke chapter 2, verse 52. He grew in wisdom, in favor. We grew in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with God and with men. Okay, this was a 4th dimension that I broke into these 9 schematas of personal development plan. So you have, the spiritual, the family, the mental, the physical, the ministry, the career, the financial, the social, and the recreation. These are all areas along which you must set goals, deadlines, strategy. You must do a SWOT analysis around them. You must determine what new skills do I need to develop in this area. What is my strength in this area of financial? What's my weakness? What opportunities that the environment opens up to? And what are the threats that I must mitigate using my strength? Okay, you must look at this. Okay, all right. Then, you must write out new skills to develop, new people to meet. Okay, new friends to cultivate. Okay, bad habits to drop off. You must draw out these things. You must also draw out who are the people that will support you in achieving this vision and goal, and who are the people that you must make yourself accountable to. Because accountability partners helps you to stay focused. And one thing that also helps me is that I give myself certain reward. Don't forget, I've said you must treat yourself. In my book again, Selling Skills You Incorporated. You Incorporated, I said, is your own unique. That's YOU. Your own unique INC. Your own unique incorporated company. You must treat yourself like that. So whenever you eat those milestones, okay, also give yourself some treats and some rewards. It encourages you, to go the whole towards achieving your entire goal. So I will stop here. But the process for PDP, if you want to learn about this, I can take you more on that on a personal mentoring basis. Want to know that? But let me stop here so we can ask questions. I will entertain questions here. I want to say thank you. The Lord bless you. I will entertain questions here. As I've said, we want to look at some of my past. If you want to look at some of my past, recordings on goal setting, recordings on visioning, please just go to my YouTube channel, Olakomi Amonidundu, and you'll find it easily there. Okay, so let's shoot questions now. What I will do is I will try to open, okay. I will try to open the mic for everyone. I want to please let me see by show of hands if you want me to open the mic for you so that you can ask your questions freely. I want to say thank you to everyone that is here. I can see, my professional colleague, and super, leader in the HR, profession globally. Okay, Emmanuel Michael EM. I want to say thank you for being here. The Lord bless you. Okay, I can see also one of my elders in the CIPM, the Keja chapter, Mr. Oludolapo Motoya. I want to say thank you for being here. I can see the vice chairman of CIPM, the Keja, also here, and that's Mrs. Olamide Olabiron. Thank you. I hope this session has been helpful in planning. It's been, I can see also my leaders in ministry. Okay, Mrs. Chiamaka Vasiakan. I can see one of my big mommies, Adito. Okay, I want to say thank you, Ma. Thank you for everyone that is on this call. I hope it's been helpful. Please, let's be free to ask our questions. Be free to open your mic now. Be free to